Welcome back, history enthusiasts. In today's episode, we embark on a fascinating journey back in time to explore the rich and captivating era of the Vedic period. From the depths of ancient India's past, we uncover the secrets, wisdom, and achievements of this remarkable civilization. Join me as we delve into part 1 of our Vedic period series. Vedic period. The Vedic period, or Vedic age, circa 1500, c. 500 BCE, is the period in the history of India during which the Vedas, the oldest sacred texts of Hinduism, were being composed. Based on literary evidence, scholars placed the Vedic period in the 2nd and 1st millennia BCE continuing up to the 6th century BCE. The associated culture, sometimes referred to as Vedic civilization, was centered in the northern and northwestern parts of the Indian subcontinent. Its early phase saw the formation of various kingdoms of ancient India. In its late phase, from ca. 600 BCE, it saw the rise of the Mahajanapadas and was succeeded by the Maurya Empire, from ca. 320 BCE, the classical age of Sanskrit literature, and the Middle Kingdoms of India. The literary legacy from this period does not contain much detailed historical information. To some degree, this places the Vedic era within prehistory. The literary legacy, however, does take us back to one of the very earliest human societies. Some claim that the line from Vedic times to today represents the oldest known continuous civilization on Earth. Vedic society's sophisticated organization, its profound interest in human origins, in the question of the meaning and purpose of life combined with a refusal to speculate and its championing of order against chaos and of order within society, suggest a maturity that is often associated with humanity at a much later stage of development. The possibility that the ancient world was a more interconnected space, with links between several continents, may also merit scholarly investigation. An interconnected world may also have been an interdependent world. The development of human civilization as the result of the mixing and mingling of ideas across geopolitical borders weakens race-based claims that some ethnic groups have contributed more than others to this process. Overview. Identifying the beginning of the Vedic period links with the disputed Aryan invasion theory. This theory posits that North India was originally inhabited by darker-skinned Dravidians, who may have founded the Indus Valley or Harappan civilization. Sometime around about 1500 BCE lighter-skinned invaders, known as Aryans, pushed the Dravidians south. These invaders are said to have originated from the Iranian regions, some moved to the west, some to the east, hence Indo-European languages derived from their ancient tongue are linguistic cousins. This theory also explains some similarities between the content of the Vedas and the ancient Iranian religion of Zoroastrianism. Against this theory, developed from the linguistic work of F. Max Muller, is the total lack of any traditions or stories describing such an invasion. According to the invasion theory, the Vedic literature would have begun as oral tradition initially developed outside India. Feuerstein, Kack, and Frawley are among those who reject the Aryan invasion, arguing that this is nothing more than a scholarly function. It was the writers of the Vedas who settled the Indus Valley, and the Aryans were native to India for several millennia, deriving their Sanskrit language from earlier Indo-European dialects. An alternative theory was proposed by a 19th-century writer, Edward Pocock, who may or may not be related to the 16th-century Orientalist of the same name. In his India in Greece, original, 1852, Pocock argued that the Greek language is a derivation from Sanskrit, therefore Sanskrit-speaking people, that is, Indians, must have dwelt in Greece, and they must have been primitive settlers. According to Pocock, the language, philosophy, and religion, the rivers, mountains, as well as her subtle form of intellect and her politics all indicate that Greece was colonized from India. Pocock and others also think that Indians visited and contributed to ancient Egyptian civilization. Feuerstein, Kack, and Frawley write, "We know that the Egyptians owe a great debt to the learned men and sages of India." Historical reconstruction. The reconstruction of the history of Vedic India is based on text internal details. Linguistically, the Vedic texts could be classified into 5 chronological strata. 1. Rigvedic. The Rigveda is by far the most archaic of the Vedic texts preserved, and it retains many common Indo-Iranian elements, both in language and in content, that are not present in any other Vedic texts. Its creation must have taken place over several centuries, and apart from that of the youngest books, first part of 1, and all of 10, would have been complete by 1000 BCE. Archaeologically, this period may correspond with the Gandhara grave culture, the cemetery H culture of the Punjab and the ochre-colored pottery culture, OCP, further east. There is no widely accepted archaeological or linguistic evidence of direct cultural continuity from the Indus Valley civilization. The word Veda means knowledge. 2. Mantra language. This period includes both the mantra and prose language of the Atharva Veda, Papalada and Chanakya, the Rigveda Kalani, the Samaveda Samhita, containing some 75 mantras not in the Rigveda, and the mantras of the Yajurveda. Many of these texts are largely derived from the Rigveda but have undergone certain changes, both linguistic change and by reinterpretation. Conspicuous changes include the change of Vishva, all, by Sarva, and the spread of the Kuru, verbal stem, for Rigvedic Krno. This is the time of the early Iron Age in northwestern India, corresponding to the black and red ware, BRW, culture, and the kingdom of the Kurus, dating from ca the 10th century BCE. Atharva Veda contains a great deal of medical knowledge and is used by practitioners of Ayurvedic healing. 3. Samhita prose. This period marks the beginning of the collection and codification of a Vedic canon. An important linguistic change is the complete loss of the injunctive. The Brahmana part, commentary, on mantras and ritual, of the Black Yajurveda, MS, KS, TS, belongs to this period. Archaeologically, the painted grey ware, PGW, culture from ca 900 BCE corresponds, and the shift of the political center from the Kurus to the Panchalas on the Ganges. 4. Brahmana prose. The Brahmanas proper of the 4 Vedas belong to this period, as well as the Aranyaka, the oldest of the Upanishads, Bau, Chu, Jub, and the oldest Shrouded Sutras, BSS, VOD-SS. 5. Sutra language. This is the last stratum of Vedic Sanskrit leading up to c. 500 BCE, comprising the bulk of the Srauta and Graya Sutras, and some Upanishads, e.g. Kathu, Maitreyu. All but the 5 prose Upanishads are post-Buddhist. Videha, North Bihar, as a third political center is established. 6. Epic and Paninian Sanskrit, the language of the Mahabharata and Ramayana epics, and the classical Sanskrit described by Panini is considered post-Vedic, and belongs to the time after 500 BCE. Archaeologically, the rapid spread of northern black polished ware, NBP, over all of northern India corresponds to this period. The earliest Vedanta, Gautama Buddha, and the Pali-Prakrit dialect of Buddhist scripture belong to this period. Historical records set in only after the end of the Vedic period, and remain scarce throughout the Indian Middle Ages. The end of Vedic India is marked by linguistic, cultural and political changes. The grammar of Panini marks a final apex in the codification of sutra texts and at the same time the beginning of classical Sanskrit. The invasion of Darius I of the Indus Valley in the early 6th century BC marks the beginning of outside influence, continued in the kingdoms of the Indo-Greeks, new waves of immigration from 150 BCE, Abhira, Shaka, Kushan and ultimately the Islamic sultans. The most important historical source of the geography of post-Vedic India is the 2nd century Greek historian Aryan, whose report is based on the Mauryan time ambassador to Putna, Megasthenes. And that concludes our immersive journey through part 1 of the Vedic Period series. Stay tuned for more captivating episodes where we'll delve deeper into this mesmerizing era. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you never miss an episode. Until next time, this is Do Research Hub.